Hey guys, it's Scott from fxmissions.com. Just a note, I've finished the trilogy of Anthologies from the Forefront, and all 3 books are currently available on Amazon.
Take your leadership to the next level. It's time for the Foundational Missions Leadership Moment with Scott McClelland of FX Missions.
Hey guys, Scott McClelland here with your FX Missions Leadership Moment. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate you being here. We are in the middle of a series on relationships, and I'm not sure how many we're going to have here. It's a big subject, and there's a lot of angles to look at it from, but just want to say thank you for being a part of what we're doing here. We're hoping and praying that this series on relationships can be a help to you, an encouragement to you, and for some of us, we need healing in the area of relationships. So I'm praying specifically that if you need healing regarding relationships, that this will be part of that help. Also want to give you guys an update. Thanks for praying for us for our Bro Summit and our Nicaragua 2018 Leadership Intensive. Both of those events were conducted, and I asked for prayer here on the Leadership Moment. Thank you for your prayers, and the events went well. We were thankful. It was our first Bro Summit in Nicaragua, and we had a full cast there. And interestingly enough, on a series of relationships here, a lot of what we do is relationship-centric, and so we just took a lot of time there in Nicaragua to spend together and enjoy each other and do fun things and hang out and pray for each other and encourage each other. Guy stuff, cool stuff. But because of your prayers, I think additional grace was added to us, so thank you for that. I've got a lot of notes on relationships here, and we're going to be covering stuff like communications, commitment, importance of relationships, how do we honor our relationships, the concept of mutual contribution, necessity of grace, things like that. And I'll try to keep this not too long, but full of content. So I'm going to kick off here today on relationships. And last time we talked about the joint is not a part. And if you haven't heard that particular episode of the Leadership Moment, I would encourage you to go back and check that out. How a joint is not a part. A joint's where 2 parts come together, or the relationship between 2 parts. What I want to talk about today is that relationships are voluntary. Relationships are voluntary. Have you ever been in a relationship with someone where there was a sense of obligation? Now, I'm not talking about the idea of you can commit or release your commitment on a whim. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about you make a commitment to be involved in a relationship and then you decide, I don't really want to do this, and then you back out. That's not what I mean. What I mean is, if you and I are going to have a relationship, we both have to agree to that. We both have to volunteer. It has to be from a free will kind of open heart kind of place from both of us. And a lot of times we have trouble in relationships because we have one person who's willing, maybe even energetic, or sees potential in the relationship, and then another party who maybe is suspect or doesn't trust the other person or feels weirded out or whatever. But the voluntary aspect of relationships needs to be acknowledged. If you're interested in forming a friendship with someone and you don't get the vibe back that they're interested, or maybe something is just poor timing, availability, whatever it might be, you need to respect this component of relationships and how the volunteer piece or the, free will piece comes into play. People can't be forced into having a relationship through obligation. And we need to respect other people as the basis of relationship. Respect is a really good place to start. So if you feel like there's a potential friendship and you are not getting the cooperation that you'd like, or maybe you're on the other side of that. I just want to encourage you to consider the importance of mutuality and free will when it comes to the depth of friendship that you enjoy. Now, a lot of times God's giving us His grace and highlighting someone to us that we have a contribution to, or they have a contribution to us. But we always want to make sure and respect the other person in that sequence and not use manipulative tactics to try to get someone to spend more time with us or to give us more of their attention or to in any way force them to recognize how awesome we are and how they should really be spending time or developing a relationship. So relationships are voluntary. Now, if you find, like I do, that healing is necessary from our past and the way we've dealt with the relationships, in some ways what we've been subjected to in the name of relationship, I just want to encourage you to, as we're kind of building this concept of relationships here and how to cooperate with God's grace in them, let's make sure that if we need to repent or if we need to ask for healing from the Lord or repent to someone or repent to the Lord, that we take time to do that. Once again, and finally, relationships are voluntary. Next time downrange, we're going to talk about valuing relationships, loyalty, and betrayal. Ooh, yes. Sounds like fun stuff, doesn't it? Well, we'll get to it then. And I hope you come back and join us for that. If you need to contact me or us, please do so at info@fxmissions.com or check us out on our Facebook page or on the web at fxmissions.com. Thanks for joining us. I'm Scott McClelland. And until next time, have a good one.
This leadership moment was produced in partnership with Engaging Missions. Have your leadership question answered by contacting Scott at fxmissions.com. Visit FX Missions to learn more about how you can grow your leadership and engage in missions. Visit engagingmissions.com for encouragement, insight, and resources from missionaries, ministry leaders, and church planters.